Okay, we're back. This time we're going to be looking at our front suspension. This is the 1979 Suzuki FZ50. The FZ50 is kind of like the cool kid version of the FA50. It's basically the same drivetrain, but a completely different body and frame. So, anyway, on my inaugural ride of this, dare I call it a moped, it really isn't a moped. There's a whole big discussion to be had about that. But anyway, so we're in the, well, we're back. I flipped the Suzuki around. So a little bit of backstory. So I got this Suzuki FZ50 in trade for basically a parts Vespa V90 small frame. And this was a running and driving machine when I got it. So I took it for a quick ride. Kind of got a feel for what it needs, you know, for repairs and other things. One of the things that really I noticed it right off the bat. The front suspension is completely dead. Completely dead. And, I mean, yeah, it has springiness, but there's no dampening at all, of any kind. It just kind of floats along. Like, not good. Not good at all. So what are we going to do about it? Well, here's what I intend to do. I need to replace the front shocks. I went online and I had no luck finding shocks for this at all. I couldn't find anything other than used shocks. And I think I found one new old stock, but if I recall it was in another country, and it was only one. I need two. You don't want to replace just one, you want two, that way it's balanced. Well, alright, this doesn't look good. It looks like they're a little bit wide. The lower fork, whatever you want to call it. Let's take this screw out. Before we start ripping things apart, I want to point something out. Look at this. It has grease fittings everywhere. There's one there, there's one here on either side. They actually wanted you to grease the suspension. That's pretty cool. Hopefully it won't be bouncing all over the road anymore. And it really does. It bounces and it kind of floats around. It's just unnerving as all hell. Where's that 13? Yeah, I can't ride it that way, I'll tell you that much. Is it a 13 or it's a 12? Shit. It's a 12. Let's see if I can crack that loose. What's going to happen here is I know the hardware isn't going to fit. I'm going to have to find some makeshift hardware to make it work. Or something like that. I have the wrong screwdriver. Yeah, it's not rusted or anything. It's just dirty. I need a number 3 Phillips, but I'm almost there. Oh, wait a minute. That might actually work. I got the nut off. So here we go. I got to pull the axle nut out. Thought I might have to do that. There's a 14 on one side. I bet you the other side is a 12. 13 maybe. Nope, it's a 12. Okay. No. Wait a minute. It's a 10. What? No, it's not a 10. It's not a 12. It's a, it's supposed to be a 12. Let's see if I can crack that loose. Yeah, there we go. Looks like somebody rounded off the axle nut a little bit. Yeah, it's a brake drums. There we go. Now, does it fall over? No, it didn't fall over. Okay, so now we've got this all undone. I should be able to drop the shock right out pretty easily. Okay, let's see how we do. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So that nut was just a lock nut. Okay. So now we've got the arm loose. Now let's see if this bolt even fits in the new shock. Damn hell it does. It fits. So that's positively positive. It actually threads in and everything. So, hey, you know, as long as the head fits into the, and it does, it really fits. So we might be in the clear here. We might be in good shape. Hopefully my successes are not short-lived. Now we've got to remove the, yeah, right, watch out for that. Got to remove this bolt here. There's a little cap nut, an acorn nut on the reflector. The front fender is going to have to come off. That's okay, we have a new one coming in anyway. So that's got to be removed. This end. Oh, that's just a nut that holds the fender on. That's got to come out. Yeah, I got to remove the fender. Alright. So these shocks cost me $26. Now the reason I don't like buying used shocks, whether they're claimed to be good or not, is because it's not necessarily mileage that kills them, it's age. The rubber seals are what go bad in them, and once that happens, the shock's no damn good. So, you know, I don't want to waste my time with shocks that are just going to be bad anyway. You know, that's how it is, right? Okay, now we got to take the shock bolt, the upper shock bolt out. I'm going to have to loosen up the rack, it's in my way. I'm going to take the other bolt out, the other acorn nut. I'm going to liberate the other reflector. And there we go. I got this tray on the floor because it captures all of the falling debris that's going to come out of this in this project. It's going to be a mess. Don't forget that little. There we go. Okay. It's a rather massive bolt. Okay. The shock should just come right out now. Oh, but I got to remove the lower. Look at that shock bolt. Huh. Let's see how it fits in the new shock. Oh, it fits. It friggin' fits. Okay. We might be in the clear. I can't believe it. Alright, I'm going to take the lower leading link off. It's on the other side here. Is that a knot? Or is it a captive knot? Okay. It's gross, man. There's all this grease. See, the thing is, whoever owned this actually did grease things. They took care of it. You know, they had it maintained and everything. Save that. We're gonna need to clean all of this hardware anyway. It's all going to be taken to a wire wheel. We're going to clean all this up, and we're going to make it look brand new again. Oh, look at all the crap that's in here. Sticks and stones and other things. Here's the old shock. Yeah. This is it. I mean, in all its greasy glory. Okay, let's compare them. Are we close? A little bit longer. I expected that. But it looks like almost a perfect match. As close as you're going to get in today's world. Almost a perfect match. But it is a little bit longer, so it's going to ride a little bit higher, which is okay, I guess. But this is all full of grease and other things. There's like a rubber bumper in there. And I mean, we're going to probably just lightly and carefully clean it up. There, how's that look? No parts washer, nothing. I just used some WD-40 and a wire brush, and I did it in my kitchen. Alright. A little bit of plaque there. Okay. So we're going to put this in once we get the new shock in place. As for greasing this stuff, we're going to do that after. Because this has grease fittings on basically every pivot, I'm not going to put any grease in any of this. I don't need to. I might put a little bit of grease on the shock bolt, but that's it, because there is no fitting there on the upper shock bolt. So let's just see if it even fits. Let's just see if it fits. Pop that in there. It seems to fit. The shock bolt goes in. Alright, so let's get some grease on that. The shock's got to be turned this way so that the larger hole is out. Alright, let's get some grease. And I got my waterproof chassis grease here. And I'm going to put a dab of it in the shock eye. Make sure the shock is in the correct orientation. And where are we? Oh yeah, can't see the hole. Alright. Now, one of the downfalls to the way this bike is constructed is if you strip out this bolt, or this captive nut that's in the fork, you can't really replace it. It'll have to be, it's a custom bolt, first of all, and second of all, you would have to, actually you could get away with it by putting a heavy duty nut on the other side. So we're not going to over tighten anything is my underlying point here. So the shock is now bolted in on the top. Now we're going to get our reconditioned a leading link suspension design. Now one of the reasons that these shocks are kind of important is because if they're worn out to a certain point, whenever you hit the brakes, the entire front end will lift up instantly. And it's just unnerving. Having gone through it on my my Helix, when those shocks started getting a little worn out in the front, it really ruins the ride a little bit. So braking is a problem, and just general ride quality, because it just wants to bounce and bounce and bounce up and down. It's all it wants to do. So there's a rubber stopper inside here. That rubber stopper is there for a reason. It is actually there to provide a bump stop for the suspension's upper limit. So, okay. Yeah, I kind of suspected we would have a slight problem here, and I was right. We do. Because the new shocks are just a tad bit longer than they should be, what's happened here is it doesn't quite line up. I'm going to have to preload the shock by just a little bit once I get this assembled. So that's okay, but it's, you know, it's about what I anticipated. Okay, now we have room to work. Alright, so how am I going to do this? I'll put a screwdriver in there. Oh wait, oh I could just do that. Hey, guess who's a genius? Come on, find a hole. Ah, I found it. Alright, here we go. So let's get our 12 mil wrench and socket. Here we go. So fun. Alright. Okay. But it just seems like there's something missing inside here, because is that link? No, it's good. It's good. Now, to get the shock, which is infinitely larger than the original, to get it compressed, that's going to be the fun part. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can't make this work. So we got all of our spacers in, right? Not one fell out. Here it is. Get those in place. We want to get our shock bolt in place. Where is our shock bolt? Get that in there like so. We're going to lift the shock up. Oopsie-daisically. And I've got the... So this isn't as bad as I had expected. This spacer, I'm going to somehow get that lined up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is going to be just fine. Almost there. And send it home, baby. Now, I did say that the shock is a little wider than it should be, and I wasn't kidding, because it is. So I'm going to have to come up with some shims to put in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to come up with some shims so that it doesn't become an unsafe proposition. But we're going to put those lock nuts in, make sure this is... Yeah, I mean, it's all in there. It's one. But I love it. So at this point, the axle sits level. Once I slide it through the two leading links. And once the wheel is bolted in place, none of this will slide back and forth. So I don't think I need to shim any of this. I think it'll be just fine. And let me get the brake drum brake assembly. There it goes. And then there should be a slot that goes into. And there is. Like so. Alright, let's get the wheel spacer. This is all going to be taken back apart and cleaned properly. But I want to kind of test it out and see how much different it is. Now before, there was absolutely, it was just springiness. That was it. So when you go over a bump, when I was just driving along the road out there, the whole thing was just, for no reason, just bouncing. It was not cool. Alright, so... Yeah, I'll just bounce it around, you know, just on this side. Get this lined up with this and that and everything else. Come on, baby. Get in there. Where's my mallet? Okay, at this point, let's see if it's any better or worse. Could be worse. It's alright, I still have the old ones. There we go. Ooh. Oh, that is better. So if I hit that front brake, gas. Hear that? That's liquid. That's dampening. That's what you need when you're riding something like this. Alright. Yeah, see how it stops bouncing at some point? Well, before it wouldn't. Once I do the rear, it'll be like new. Break it in a little bit. But yeah, there's not really a lot of shock power, I guess. Yeah, it does, you know, I gotta be honest, it's not that much better, but it is better. Yeah, a little bit. That's what the brake held down, by the way. You know. But I could see it handling a little. See, now I got to do the rear. Now I got to do the rear shock. And I will. But it's an improvement. And improvements are good. So. Now I got to clean the floor. I think I got grease spots here and there. That's alright, I use a spot cleaner just for that purpose. And that'll make it nice. And other news, this is our first snow day. Our first day of actual snow coming down. First day of the 2017 winter season. Alright, let's clean that up.